Excerpt from Mahaparinibbana Sutta. DN Sola. For the Blessed One, O Lord, spoke these words to me: I shall not come to my final passing away, evil one, until my bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, laymen and laywomen, have come to be true disciples, wise, well disciplined, apt and learned, preservers of the Dhamma, living according to the Dhamma, abiding by the appropriate conduct, and having learned the Master's word, are able to expound it, preach it, proclaim it, establish it, reveal it, explain it in detail, and make it clear, until, when adverse opinions arise, they shall be able to refute them thoroughly and well, and to preach thus convincing and liberating Dhamma. The benefits of admirable friendship. Meghya. When a monk has admirable people as friends, companions, and colleagues, it is to be expected that he will be virtuous, will dwell restrained in accordance with the Patimokha, consummate in his behavior and sphere of activity, and will train himself, having undertaken the training rules, seeing danger in the slightest faults. When a monk has admirable people as friends, companions, and colleagues, it is to be expected that he will get to hear at will, easily and without difficulty, talk that is truly sobering and conducive to the opening of awareness, i.e., talk on modesty, on contentment, on seclusion, on non-entanglement, on arousing persistence, on virtue, on concentration, on discernment, on release, and on the knowledge and vision of release. When a monk has admirable people as friends, companions, and colleagues, it is to be expected that he will keep his persistence aroused for abandoning unskillful qualities, and for taking on skillful qualities, steadfast, solid in his effort, not shirking his duties with regard to skillful qualities. When a monk has admirable people as friends, companions, and colleagues, it is to be expected that he will be discerning, endowed with discernment of arising and passing away, noble, penetrating, leading to the right ending of stress. Ud 4.1. Admirable friends are to be recognized both by what they say and by what they do. For the person who transgresses in one thing, I tell you, there is no evil deed that is not to be done. Which one thing? Thus, telling a deliberate lie. The person who lies, who transgress in this one thing, transcending concern for the world beyond, thus no evil he might not do. 80-25. A friend endowed with these three qualities is worth associating with. Which three? She gives what is hard to give, does what is hard to do, endures what is hard to endure. A friend endowed with these three qualities is worth associating with. And 3.133 A person endowed with these four qualities can be known as a person of integrity. Which four? There is the case where a person of integrity, when asked, doesn't reveal another person's bad points, to say nothing of when unasked. Furthermore, when asked, when pressed with questions, he is one who speaks of another person's bad points not in full, not in detail, with omissions, holding back. Then again, a person of integrity, when unasked, reveals another person's good points, to say nothing of when asked. Furthermore, When asked when pressed with questions, he is one who speaks of another person's good points in full or in detail, without omissions, without holding back. Then again, a person of integrity, when unasked, reveals his own bad points, to say nothing of when asked. Furthermore, when pressed with questions, he is one who speaks of his own bad points in full or in detail, without omissions, without holding back. Then again, a person of integrity, when asked, doesn't reveal his own good points, to say nothing of when unasked. Furthermore, when pressed with questions, he is one who speaks of his own good points not in full, not in detail, with omissions, holding back. Monks, a person endowed with these four qualities can be known as a person of integrity. And 4.73 Gautami, the qualities of which you may know, these qualities lead to passion, not to dispassion, to being fettered, not to being unfettered, to accumulating, not to shedding, to self-aggrandizement, not to modesty, to discontent, not to contentment, to entanglement, not to seclusion, to laziness, not to aroused persistence, to being burdensome, not to being unburdensome. You may categorically hold, this is not the Dhamma, this is not the Vinay, this is not the teacher's instruction. As for the qualities of which you may know, these qualities lead to dispassion, not to passion, to being unfettered, not to being fettered, to shedding, not to accumulating, to modesty, not to self-aggrandizement, to contentment, not to discontent, to seclusion, not to entanglement, to aroused persistence, not to laziness, to being unburdensome, not to being burdensome. You may categorically hold, this is the Dhamma, this is the Vinay, this is the teacher's instruction. And 8.53 Jack Cornfield. In short, the qualities are compassion and wisdom. The qualities a teacher needs include true compassion and connectedness with all beings, so that whatever teaching is offered comes through as an expression of the universal compassion of all the Buddhas, emptiness, liberation from the identity with the small sense of self, fullness, and ability to be present and awake, maturity, someone who has a great deal of life experience, and a kind of sensitivity. And along with all that, profound dharma practice, deep experience of the teachings of the Buddha in their own heart and mind stream, and a fundamental virtue and morality that is both beautiful and in some ways unshakable. Ajahn Amaro. One of the qualities that I would underscore is morality, sila. Morality refers to a basic kind of trustworthiness and straightforwardness that someone who's going to be a teacher and guide requires. Students need to know that teachers are trustworthy and have a fundamental empathy, so they can depend on them. This needs to come from a pragmatic rather than an idealistic perspective. Sometimes it's easy to manifest those larger qualities, but from a very idealistic position that doesn't connect with people in a direct or heartfelt way. Along with this empathy, which is grounded in practice, should come profound communication skills. To be able to hear others is extraordinarily important.